What is up, guys? Avon coming at you from Brooklyn, New York. And now that actually makes sense because we're going to talk about a band that actually comes from Brooklyn, New York, as opposed to Queens, which is most of the ones I think we've talked about so far.
There's not as many bands from Brooklyn as you think.
Which is weird, but you know,
they all come from Bay Ridge.
Yes, they do. So, and one of those bands is Indecision, and they are actually from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. So this band, again, I don't hear a lot about them. That's the whole point of the series, is to show you kind of like obscure shit that people don't talk about, rather than the 5 or 6 bands that people usually associate with hardcore. You know what they are. If not, you can just put in New York hardcore and they'll pop up, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The same fucking bands.
Yeah, it'll be the same couple of bands,
which is one of the best.
Yeah, which is fine. But I would rather show you the stuff that not a lot of people are going to talk about, not a lot of people are going to know, and Indecision is one of them. Unless, like, you're from New York, or you're really big into hardcore. And I mean, I'm assuming if you watch these videos, you might not know who these bands are. You're going to know the top 5. I love hardcore, but what do I listen to? So the whole point, so Indecision is, again, Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. Funny enough, the guitarist, who's Justin Brandon, and I messed this up because I thought that he was the singer the whole time, but he's not. He's actually the guitarist.
Well, why don't we get to that later, what he got into later? Let's just focus on the band.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I got a funny story to go with him.
Okay, all right,
all right. Let's focus on this band. One of their first early albums is a split. It's a 7-inch split with a band called Shutdown, who's also from Bay Ridge, and it was called Brooklyn Youth Crew 1995.
There you go.
All right. Their first, for years, people never knew why we called them Brooklyn Youth Crew, because there's only 2 bands. But then when I didn't know there was a 7-inch till a few years ago, which is awesome. I love Shutdown and I love Indecision. They played from 93 to 2000 until they became another band, which we'll talk about later in this video. But this is one of their best albums ever, called Unorthodox. This is their first full length.
That's probably the best one. Yeah, that's the one you're going to see most of the
I always talk about the famous cassette tape I got from Adam, and one of the songs on Indecision was Purgatory on there, which talks about, it starts off with a British newscaster talking about the industrialists who... I always forget how it goes, man. He talks about putting money before people, putting power before principle, and getting on with business and killing innocent people, like, in the world.
Yeah.
And it's a great song. And the first line from the band is, "We'll all suffer for what we've done," and they're true. We're feeling that right now with climate change. So I can't even talk shit.
Oof, yeah.
But this album had a lot of phenomenal songs like Shadowboxing, and a lot of people believe that Ignacio Front came up with the line "Believe." That a lot of people believe, like, in hardcore, like Believe, is a song from Ignacio Front. That's like 2000. No, that's like 1997. This album came out in 96, and there's a song called Believe, and it's one of the, and it opens up with the Outsiders when they're about to go fight the other gang.
Yeah.
And they're like, "We're gonna do it."
It's a sample.
Was his name Johnny? Was the name of the guy? The one who dies? Ralph Macchio?
I haven't watched it. Ralph Macchio.
Yeah,
that's
Ralph
his name.
Macchio.
Yeah.
We gotta do it for Johnny.
Yeah.
And it's like, Believe. And it's one of the sickest hardcore songs.
The opening is great. I believe.
And Abe's favorite song on this album is actually One Last Time.
Oh, One Last Time. That's fucking so, dude. It's still on my gym playlist. It's still on my favorites playlist on my Google Music. I listen to that shit regularly because just the opening is so fucking good. Listen to that song. That song is just the best. It's that and Hallowed Be Thy Name, which is, no, it's not a cover of Iron Maiden, which a lot of people might think.
Bingo.
But it's one of the most famous songs, and if you're gonna hear about the band at all, you're gonna hear about Hallowed Be Thy Name, just because there's a line in the song that for those I love I will sacrifice, that got famous. Or I guess it got really popular because there was a soldier who got blown away really badly, and
he got blown up.
Yeah,
and he was in a helicopter being pulled out, and the medics, and they took off his shirt and said on the side of his
head. He had a tattooed on his ribs. You can probably just Google the line, it'll come up. It's like he's all fucked up, you know what I mean? And he got really busted up. He lost both of his legs and one arm, and it just became a really famous photo. And that line just became kind of synonymous with a lot of military guys use it, like, even if they're not even if they're not fans
Firemen,
of hardcore, firemen.
cops,
Yeah,
it's like a line. It might be a religious line, but everybody knows from Indecision.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it got really, really popular, at least for us. You know what I mean? This another funny thing about the band is the guitarist. I don't know if you want to mention this now.
Let's go into Most Precious Blood.
Okay.
We'll talk about where they are now.
So yeah,
and what they've gone on to. But the thing is, let's continue on with their second album afterwards was Most Precious Blood, which was an album that's pretty good. It's named after a church, school, Catholic school. We have one here in Astoria that's near where I grew up, and there's one in Bay Ridge.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Most
that's
Precious
like a common name.
Yeah, it's a common name for churches or
and
Catholic,
you can feel like they use that a lot in their stuff. Like this album's called Unorthodox with two kids in church.
It seems to be that theme,
holding a cross.
Yeah.
But their music is brutal and it's great.
Yeah.
But these are the ones with the original singer. Later on it becomes another singer.
Yeah, I think it was Tom Sheehan. I think was the first singer. I think was Tom Sheehan.
And then later on became a guy named Artie.
Yeah.
And he's on like To Live and Die in New York City.
Yeah.
And probably another one. I'm not a huge fan of that version of the band. I like it.
Yeah.
And then there's another CD called The Hard Rain's Gonna Fall, which is all their 7 inches.
Yeah. Actually, between this album and Most Precious Blood, they actually had a split with Shylud.
But that's on A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall.
Yeah.
Like that's on that CD. I'm talking about the CD. They got a bunch of 7 inches.
They're really
7 inches with everybody in their grandmother.
Yeah, they've played with fucking everybody.
They're known for being a hard touring band.
Yeah.
And then they split up in 2000.
Yeah,
like maybe earlier than that, they were probably having problems. They went separate ways, but the original Rachel, the guitar player, with Justin, the other guitar player, and Tom reformed from the Most Precious Blood lineup and became Most Precious Blood. They took that name and became the band.
Which is probably...
I bought this and never even got a chance to open it yet.
Well, it's hilarious because when I did not know for the longest time. I knew both of these bands. I did not know that Most Precious Blood was Indecision.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. He was like, we were talking about doing 2 videos for 2 separate bands, and I was like, that's the same band.
Yeah, I didn't know. I don't know how
This is like their second album, Our Lady of Annihilation, which I love. Like I had it on CD before this.
Yeah.
So this is not even open. I found this and was just happy to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even open from Trustkill. Trustkill used to be the shit in the early 2000s.
Yeah, they had all the good shit.
But they have Nothing in Vain, and then they have the one out, I think Merciless, or like Nothing in Vain is the first one where it's a guy dead body in a tub, and then Merciless had a horrible cover where it's a guy dead. It looked like either the best.
I thought it was a zombie.
No, it's not. It's a dead body.
It's just a dead carcass.
Yeah, I've seen so many police books that I know it's a carcass.
Yeah.
Then there's a cover that's censored, but the music on that last album was so fucking good.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard that.
I've only Merciless.
I've only heard Our Lady of Annihilation.
Yeah, The Great Red Shift is the one I think the one they have the video for.
Yeah.
Like all these albums are great to listen to straight out, but the last one.
If you're gonna know anything, it's gonna be Most Precious Blood. Indecision was like
because Most Precious Blood toured even harder than Indecision.
Yeah.
They toured everywhere.
And again, they came since it was after 2000. It was that wave after like when Hatebreed got big, when metalcore started like kind of. It's not what it was before, but it kind of rode that wave because you had Hatebreed in '97. With Satisfaction, and then Perseverance came out in like 2000 or 2001, and then that was like the start of all the metalcore that came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
and
they all started on Trustkill.
Basically, and they basically like rode that they were on that wave of all those metalcore bands that came out in the early 2000s. I never got into them. Just because there was just a bunch of bands. I had no idea they were anything to do with Indecision. So I never got to really listen to them.
When I got back into hardcore or metalcore at some point, Most Precious Blood was the big one. And it was a song called Shark Ethic. It's like a brutal song, Oxygen Debt, a lot of songs on that album. Mad as a March Hare. Like those are the hits on it. We're gonna try and start making like lists for you guys to check out bands and music and songs.
Yeah, we might make a Spotify playlist.
That's a great idea, man.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with these guys. All right, when they were done touring, and I guess they had you had your fill traveling, because you're doing it on your own dime. These guys are not
DIY as fuck.
DIY as fuck.
Yeah.
They were always known as the hardest touring band. They did a reunion show with Indecision in 2005 at the Super Bowl of Hardcore, which shut down. Me and this guy Jeff, Jeff Zero, who used to play drums in a band I was in. We worked together as doormen in the city back then, in 2005. And he told the boss, listen, we just quit. We're going to that show because they tried to make us work. He's like, we're not going. So me and Jeff booked it. We didn't. The guy was like, just go. I'm not gonna. You don't quit. Don't do that stuff. We went to the fucking show and we saw Shutdown and Indecision. We didn't give a fuck. Jeff? Yeah, little Jeff. Jeff. He's a DJ now, which is Small World.
Is that what he's doing?
He's like a fucking some Skrillex shit.
God, that's amazing.
I don't get it. So we got to see Indecision.
Yeah.
The real Indecision play, and it was phenomenal.
That's cool.
I've seen Most Precious Blood play once.
I've never seen them either.
Yeah, they'll probably do a reunion one day too. Abe has been luring to because it's kind of funny. Years later, I became a superintendent, where I ran a bunch of housing in Brooklyn, and one of the city councilmen I've had to deal with on and off, and his was the guitar player of Most Precious Blood, Justin Brennan, who's in the New York City Council. Nothing indirectly. But there's a lot of problem with housing in New York, and which I quit out of just sheer depression of seeing people not have a place to live and seeing these empty houses. And so that guy fights for people, common people in New York, and he even brought back music to because we saw him at another place. Remember when we used to see Laurel and Hardy in the Park Slope Band Dome?
Yeah.
That was him who introduced it.
Oh,
he introduced
are you
the band,
serious?
where they brought it back and he read the plaque and it was the guitar player.
Holy hell. Well, shit.
I thought that was kind of funny because I was going to tell you and I was like, well, wait a minute.
That's amazing. Where the hell did you find that?
Oh, I just knew it because I saw him. I was there. Well, I sat next to Abe and this other guy named Pat. And we saw a live band change the music to Laurel and Hardy place.
Yeah, that was fun.
On a giant TV screen in that band dome.
Yeah.
It was cool. But the fact that the guy from Indecision is the one who helped bring it in.
That's hilarious.
Music back to
I wish
Brooklyn.
I would have noticed that.
And now every year they have shows there. And it's not hardcore shows, but like you'll see the Breeders, early 90s stuff. What's that band? The Raisin in the Sun band. I saw that. Violent Femmes, I guess.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm not a big alternative guy, but I thought that was cool. So you can see like these guys.
Cool. I mean, literally, you can follow him on Twitter. That's literally.
But here's the thing.
Well, it's
these
his,
guys are,
whatever his councilman Twitter.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Practice what you preach. If you say you're looking for a change and you're looking to do something, these are the fucking guys who did it.
Yeah,
they went on to do something more.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
The hardcore talks a lot about everything, but they also talk a lot about this and going on tour and how much money they're making in Europe or Japan or whatever. These guys are talking about like how there should be social reform and how we treat people.
Yeah, and
then went on to go on the city council for it.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, yes,
that's some balls.
Yeah, that's balls. Practice what you preach. Yeah,
which a lot of '90s hardcore guys are, because you know what I mean. Like a lot of people bring up like Gorilla Biscuits and positivity and all this stuff, and that's what hardcore is in our generation.
That is what it was.
Generation before mine and growing up, before me and Abe's, with positivity, being positive and doing more for your community.
Warzone and stuff like that.
Warzone, which Warzone is still, I forget, gets counted as a later band.
Yeah,
as it's called, as a new breed band with Sick of It All and all them, even though they were like a year before Sick of It All.
Yeah, it's weird, but I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of
it's cool.
Yeah, no,
but you should check out Most Precious Blood.
Most Precious Blood. Check that out. Indecision.
Unorthodox. Most Precious Blood, the album. Go on Discogs. It'll show you every band that they play with and the bands that they produce that are awesome.
Yeah.
So you see the work. Like Rachel does a lot of producing for other bands or playing guitars in other bands. Like she played in Wage of Sin, which is actually our friend's band who played guitar and sang with Jeff.
Well, yeah, I think they ended up meeting that Rachel because she was like a host on the WNYU. There was
WNYU was a dope show.
Yeah, so
it wasn't the one that was in the college radio one where like bands would play.
That's kind of I don't know if that was. It was
no. If it is what I'm thinking of,
it was like the Right Choice or something like that. I forgot what it was called.
And WNYU had a show called Crucial Chaos.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what Crucial Chaos. That's what it is.
A lot of bands, if you get like their demo tape, will have a B-side of a live set they would play.
Yes.
At Crucial Chaos. No Redeemed Social Value, I think Locked in the Vacancy. Yeah. Step Too Far, Tears of Frustration.
Yeah, I think if you type it in on YouTube, what is it? Crucial Choice?
Crucial Chaos.
Crucial Chaos. If you type it in, I think the tapes come up. I think
that's awesome.
I think you can listen to them.
Like Step Too Far is a great one.
Yeah.
I think Awkward Thought is on there.
Shit.
But No Redeeming's definitely on it. Because every week they would have another band and play.
Yeah, I had completely forgot about the NYU was the best.
Because they're on demo tapes. They're not really put out on records or nothing like that. I don't know how much right you have to put out stuff that's put on a radio station that's done by the school. So, but on cassette tape, nobody gives a shit.
Yeah.
If you're selling records, people give a shit.
Yeah.
But I don't think NYU to this day is not really a bad place. College,
no.
Everybody who ever came out there's been a pretty dope ass person that we know.
Yeah.
Everybody who's like gone there, it's expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I try to go like 2003, but yeah, it's expensive, but whatever, you get grants.
It is what it is. You can't afford it.
It is what it is.
So check it out.
Check out Indecision and Most Precious Blood. Most Precious Blood is probably more metalcore. Indecision is metalcore, but it's just like a different strand. It's a little bit different. It's a little different sound, but yeah, you'll like both of them. You're not gonna go wrong with either of them, honestly. As like I said, it's 90s hardcore. It's fucking all good. It's all good. Just nobody knows.
Yeah, because you're gonna talk about the same bands we're not.
Yeah,
so check them out. We're gonna put up lists on our episodes of other, like, if you start following us, you're gonna start seeing a list of hardcore bands from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We're gonna start working on later on because we have a lot on New York to go then. And in Boston, because there's a few we know. We're not really big on Boston bands, but we gotta check them out.
I mean, we already did one, right? So,
did Blood for Blood. But here's the thing: when we started doing the Boston ones, I got plenty of stories from dudes from other parts of Boston. I mean, Massachusetts, who tell me stories how like they don't know a hardcore song from New York if it kicked them in the ass.
That's wild.
But that's how it is.
Yeah, but that's nice. It's sort of a regional thing, which I think is cool.
Yeah, which I think is insane.
Yeah,
I'm sure we'll get into DC again, but I had this strange feeling that after Minor Threat and Fugazi, there's not much going on in DC.
I honestly don't know what else.
But we're also going to talk about the people that come from all these places, and like why you should check out the bands, and don't hold it against them, whatever they are.
Yeah.
Because like we learned that real quick. If you come from the Rust Belt, you might be coming from a lot more harder times than we are.
Yeah. Totally.
You know, and you should accept it, check it out, and if people can listen to gangster rap while driving to work. We're at their 9-to-5 job. You can listen to a hardcore band from Detroit. You're driving to work, and trust me, they ain't talking about slinging drugs. They're talking about some wild shit you wouldn't even do.
Yeah, totally. I mean,
but we're gonna end this episode on that.
All right, these last two episodes are getting a little long. I think that's
we're talking more about shit we love.
Yeah, I mean, this shit is stuff we like. We want to get it out there. Hit the like, subscribe, follow us on a BitChute if you don't watch YouTube. And, check everything out, man. So let me know what you think. And we'll talk to you next time. I'm Evan Doom.
I'm Billy Bombs.
And I will talk to you next time. Ooh.